Venture into the vault, vultures. This is your host in Howls, the Vault Keeper, ready to narrate another nauseating novelette from my Crawley collection. So come in, sit down on that pile of shoeboxes there, and I'll begin the blood-curdling yarn I call Curiosity Killed.
There isn't much time left. He's right outside the bedroom door. Sooner or later he'll get it open and I'll be murdered. I'm scribbling this down as fast as I can so you'll know the whole story. My name is Henrietta Clayton. I live in the Royal Arms Apartment Hotel. It all started the morning I went down the hall to visit my friend, Emily Durand.
Yes? Oh, it's you, Mrs. Clayton.
Is Emily at home, Mr. Durand? I wanted to get a recipe. First, let me say that ever since I'd known him, Wallace Durand had always been shy, quiet, and completely dominated by his wife, Emily. That morning, he seemed like an entirely different person. He grinned at me.
Emily's gone, Mrs. Clayton. She's taken a trip to the coast to visit relatives.
Oh? She didn't mention it. Wallace Durand stood straight, looking at me defiantly. He seemed taller somehow, taller than he'd ever been, like heavy weights had been dropped from his tired shoulders.
It was sudden, Mrs. Clayton. She left last night, and now if you'll excuse me...
Yes, Mr. Durand, I'm sorry I disturbed you. He slammed the door. Slammed it, mind you. Mr. Durand, the milquetoast, the weakling, slammed the door in my face. I stood there shocked. I couldn't believe it. What's come over him? He's like a different man. He's never acted like that. Emily had gone away before, but Wallace Durand had never behaved that way while she'd been gone. It was as if he knew she wasn't coming back. Something's wrong. I feel it in my bones. He's done something to Emily. I rang up for the elevator. A cold shiver ran up my spine. I glanced at my watch. 8:40. Still time.
Morning, Mrs. Clayton.
Good morning, George. You been on all night?
Since 9 p.m., ma'am. Anything wrong?
Did you take Mrs. Durand down last night, George? Emily Durand. She would have had a suitcase.
No, ma'am. I brought you and Mrs. Durand up at 10 p.m. last night, remember? That's the last I saw her. Didn't take her down last night at all.
I see. Suppose she walked down, George. Who'd see her?
Walked down, Mrs. Clayton? 14 floors? I hardly think she'd walk down. Besides, if she did, Jed would have seen her. He was at the desk all night, working the switchboard.
Ask him for me, will you, George? Ask Jed if he saw Mrs. or Mr. Durand last night. George nodded. The elevator door slid closed and it whirred away. I watched the hand above swing slowly around towards 1. I went back to my own apartment. Milton was getting into his coat. Milton is my husband.
Well, Henrietta, goodbye. I'm off.
Milton, he's killed her.
Huh? Who?
Mr. Durand, he's killed Emily. I know it. Milton looked at me and began to giggle.
Wally? Kill Emily? Don't be silly. He wouldn't have the nerve. What makes you think so?
He's acting so strangely, so rude. He said Emily went on a trip, but I checked. She hasn't left this building since we came home from the women's social last night. I heard the elevator door outside slide open. I peered out. George was coming toward my apartment. Well, George, what did Jed say?
He said nobody came down those stairs last night, ma'am. But nobody.
I thanked George and he shuffled off. I turned to Milton. Then she's still in there, Milton. Poor Emily, lying dead in that apartment.
Don't you think that if Wally did murder Emily, he'd have gotten rid of her body, Henrietta?
How, Milton? That's just it. How? He couldn't carry her body down 14 flights. Besides, Jed said nobody came down the stairs last night. He couldn't take her down in the elevator, and the fire escape would be too risky. No, she's still in there.
Well, I'm late. I've got to go to the office. Look, Henrietta, if you're so sure, why don't you call the police?
Milton left and I heard the elevator come and take him down. I went to the phone. I picked up the receiver. I hesitated. I can't call the police. I have no proof. I've got to have proof. I put down the phone and went to the kitchen. I took a measuring cup from the cupboard and went down the hall to the Durand apartment. I knocked. I heard footsteps moving around inside and Wallace Durand opened the door.
Oh, it's you again. Now what?
Could I borrow a cup of sugar, Mr. Durand? I'm a little short. I started in, but Mr. Durand blocked my way. He lifted the cup from my hand.
I'll get it for you, Mrs. Clayton.
Oh, thanks. He closed the door and locked it. He wouldn't let me in. He was hiding something, all right. Emily was in there. Poor Emily.
Here you are.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Durand. He slammed the door. I was alone in the hall. I went back to my apartment. My hand shook. All right, Wallace Durand. All right. I'll get the proof. You'll see. I pulled a chair up to the apartment door and sat down. I opened it a crack so I could watch the Durand's door. I waited. After an hour, Mr. Durand came out, locked the door carefully, and pressed the elevator bell. When he was gone, I darted across the living room and out the French doors. The Durands and we shared a terrace. I crossed the low dividing wall and peered into their apartment. The blinds were drawn. I couldn't see. The door was locked. I won't give up. I won't. He's going to have to try to get rid of her body. And when he does... About 2 hours later, Wallace Durand came back. He carried a small carton about the size of a shoebox. He let himself into his apartment, and I heard him lock it from the inside. I took the cup of sugar and went down the hall and knocked.
Now what?
I came to return the sugar I borrowed. He seemed annoyed. He snatched the sugar, locked the door, and returned with the empty glass.
Now, don't bother me.
Since Emily's left you for a while, perhaps you'd like me to come in and dust, or make the bed, or... He slammed the door in my face.
No.
Oh dear. He was hiding something, all right. It was obvious. I was determined to prove his horrendous deed. So I watched every day. He went out in the morning empty-handed.
Morning, Mr. Durand. Morning, George.
And every day he came back with another shoebox. Finally, after 2 months of this, going out empty-handed and coming back 2 hours later with the inevitable shoebox, I accosted him one day. When's Emily coming back, Mr. Durand?
Never.
I thought my ears were deceiving me. I heard it plain as day, a scratching sound, inside the box he was carrying. Never, Mr. Durand?
Emily's left me for good. Now, if you don't mind.
He went inside. I went back to my apartment. I tried to think. What did he have in that box? Was Emily's body still in that apartment? Or had Wallace Durand managed to get rid of it? And then, that night, as I paced the living room floor, what's that? There was a flapping sound out on the terrace. I tiptoed to the French doors. Wallace Durand was out there, and he held something in his outstretched hands. A pigeon. Mr. Durand checked the small can strapped to the pigeon's leg. Then he tossed the bird into the air and watched it fly off into the night. A homing pigeon. I woke up Milton. I told him what I'd seen.
So what? What in blazes has one thing got to do with the other?
Don't you see, Milton? He's been getting rid of Emily's remains that way. A little bit at a time, in that can strapped to the pigeon's leg.
Good Lord, it would take months.
I'm going to call the police.
No, wait, you can't be sure.
Why don't you follow him tomorrow morning? Find out where he gets those birds.
And then I'll see what he does with the contents of the can.
That'll be the proof you need.
Yes, yes. I took Milton's advice, and the next day I followed Wallace Durand when he left the Royal Arms Apartment Hotel. He took a subway out of the city to the end of the line, then a bus. I followed the bus in a taxi. He's getting off. All right, driver, I'll get out here. Mr. Durand went to the rear of a rundown shack. I could hear the loud barking of dogs. So that's it. It was all so clear. I watched him untie the can from the homing pigeon that had arrived that night and empty the contents into the kennel full of slobbering, hungry hounds. Then he took another pigeon from the coop, placed it in a shoebox, and went away. I waited until he was gone before I came out of my hiding place. I felt sick, nauseous. Poor Emily. When I finally got back to my apartment, Milton, you're home early.
Yes, Emily, come in. I've been waiting.
Milton looked strange. He had a wild gleam in his usually sad eyes. Emily and I had been attracted to each other because we were so much alike. Dominating wives who lorded over shy, quiet, milquetoast husbands. Milton! What's that you have there?
A shoebox, Emily.
I heard the unmistakable cooing of a pigeon. I screamed and rushed for the bedroom. I locked myself in. I was trapped. Milton giggled, his voice drifting through the door.
We planned it this way, Henrietta. First Wally, then me. We rented the shack, the dogs, the pigeons. But you found out too soon.
The door is opening. I'll have to stop writing.
So now, even though Wally isn't through getting rid of Emily's body, I'll have to start, Henrietta. Start by killing you. Then cutting you up into tiny little pieces, big enough to fit in cans.
He's coming toward me.
At this point, our manuscript ends, kiddies. Ends in a bloody smear. Henrietta is now for the birds. How did I get a hold of this little yarn, you ask? So who do you think owned the shack, the dogs, the pigeons? That was the deal. Wally and Milton got to use them for the story rights. Now I'll turn you back to the Crypt Keeper. See you next in my mag, The Vault of Horror. Till then...